Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
Dandaut Bandan Anak Bar Sarb Kala Samrath Dolan Te Rakho Prabhu Nanak De Kar Hath Dolan Te Rakho Prabhu Nanak De Kar Hath तेरे कवन कवन गुण कह के गावा तू साहिब गुणी निदाना तुमरी महिमा बरना साको तू ठाकर ऊच भगवाना तू ठाकुर ऊच भगवाना वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So with Guru Sahib's kirpa, hopefully today everybody will get to learn something about Bandi Shor. And what does this physically mean? What took place during the time of Guru Har Gobind Singh Sahib Badshah? And what does it mean for us on a antriv level? Antriv means as an internal journey. So okay, as much as we're going to learn about what took place in history, but we don't want to just focus only on the history, but we're going to try and focus on what does it mean for us. How can we look at this whole game as Maharaj being imprisoned as a metaphor? Okay, so a lot of people probably haven't seen this before. So this is the fortress which is called Gwalior, where Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Partha was sent. So it wasn't actually intended, it wasn't actually made as a prison. Within this prison was the Raja, was the princes of the Hill Rajas and the Rajput Rajas. And the reason why they were there was because the son of the emperor of that time, who was Jahangir, the son of Jahangir, who was Khusro, he actually stood up against his father becoming the emperor. So he was actually against his father becoming the emperor, because he knew what Akbar had brought into place, that his father would ruin that, because his father was a drunk. And Khusro was a very dharmi person. He's very righteous. So he didn't want his father to take that throne. So he was against his father. And he helped out a lot of Rajput Rajas. So he helped out a lot of local kings. The Hindu kings, the Rajputs, and the Hill Rajas. And because he helped them out, so what Jahangir did was, he arrested these kings, because they were also supporting Jahangir's son, Khusro. So they were actually over here called Nazarband. They said, we're just going to watch over them for a short while. And when Khusro dies out, when he's not standing up against this government, when everything quietens down, then they'll let them go again. Okay, so now the biggest question is, which history isn't always very clear on, but which is very important for us to learn, is the question why. Why did Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah, which is our 6th Guru, why was Sheme Badshah, why did they end up in Gwalior? What was the reason for this? And the reason for this is because there was a change that took place. In the time of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Badshah, when they sat on the Tati Tavi, when they tolerated, when they showed the absolute limits of tolerance, Tera kiya meetha lage, when Guru Badshah sat on the Tati Tavi and did this. But Sheme Badshah brought a change. Asadi Varda Kirtan still happened in the morning. But after Rahra Sahib, Sheme Badshah said, now will not only be Shantmay Kirtan that is sung, but now Tadi Diyan Vara vi gaiyan jangiyan. So now this Bir Ras is going to come forward through this singing of these Vara. So after Rahra Sahib, what would the first Tadi Jata that came in the darbar of Sheme Badshah, they sang this Var, who is known as Abdul and Nathamal. So for Sikh Panth, the first Tadi Jata of the Sikh Panth is somebody called Abdul and Nathamal. And this is the first Var that they sang in praise of Sheme Badshah. So as they were praising 6th Guru, Guru Har Gobind Sahib, this is the words that they said. They says, Do talwari baddiyan, ek miri di, ek piri di. So as Guru Partha was sitting on the throne, they were looking at Partha and they were singing these vara. And they were singing out. And they were saying this to Partha. They were saying, Do talwari baddiyan. It says, he wears 2 kirpans. Ek miri di, ek piri di. And what do they both represent? One represents miri and one represents piri. And what do these 2 words mean? Miri comes from a word called Amir. Amir meaning rich. So Guru Sahib saying, a Sikh will have both of these things in his life. He will have the riches. Riches meaning he goes out and works and he earns an honest living. So he has money in his life. He has the riches, but not only does he have the riches, he has piri. His outlook to life is like a fakir. He's like a saint. He's not attached to what he has. So his concept of life is different to others. Others are earning money, but they're earning it out of greed. And they're looking at the Jones next door and they're thinking, what else can we achieve? We need to be greater than them. But Badshah says, no, this is not the concept of Sikhi. Yes, you will have everything. Yes, you will have families. You will have your 9-to-5 jobs. You will have everything else. But you will not be attached to these things. You will not be doing it out of greed. So this is what they were singing to Maharaj. They're saying, Do talwari baddiyan, ek miri di, ek piri di. Because when Badshah sat on the throne, Baba Buddha ji put on 2 kirpana, 2 Badshah ji. Everybody knows that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj ji was 9 years old when they sat on the throne. But not many people know that Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji, they were born in 1595. And when they sat on the Gaddi, they were also only between 9 and 10 years old. So they were very young. So a point very importantly to remember. And as they were being praised, they were saying, Ek azmat di, ek raj di, ek rakhi kare waziri di. This is what the kirpana that Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji were wearing, this is what they represented. Azmat of greatness. That Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji brought greatness to the Sikh Panth. And ek raj di, they showed power and they showed strength. Ek rakhi kare waziri di. But again, this is the virtue of being saintly. Waziri means somebody that works underneath the government. So somebody that's not at a high post. So somebody like a servant. But Guru Sahib says, this is who I look after. I look after the weak. Khalsa soe nirtan ko pale. This is what Bhai Nandalal ji said. He says, Khalsa is that person's Khalsa soe nirtan ko pale. Who is weak and who is meek. They says that's who we look after, a Khalsa. That is a Khalsa's job. Khalsa soe dusht ko galle. But then the other side of a Khalsa is that goes and takes the heads of tyrants, of rulers, like people like, what did Babur do? Babur, always remember that Babur imprisoned Guru Nanak Badshah too. But Guru Nanak Badshah Guru Nanak Badshah didn't fall at the feet of Babur, of the emperor of that time. But instead, Babur fell at the feet of Guru Nanak Badshah. Because Guru Nanak Badshah says, Sach ki bani Nanak aakhe, Sach sunaisi, Sach ki bela. Guru Nanak Badshah said, now is the time to speak the truth. Because there's so much going on. But now is not time to stay quiet. It's now time for people to hear the truth. And this is what Guru Nanak Badshah did. They said, even though I'm arrested for this, but I will not stop from speaking the truth, Guru Nanak Badshah said. So Guru Nanak Badshah were first imprisoned. So coming back to the var, and they were saying, Do talwara baddiyan, ek miri di, ek piri di, ek azmat di, ek raj di, ek rakhi kare waziri di. As they were praising Maharaj, they were saying, Himmat baha court God. God is a fortress. If you look at the walls of a fortress, they are very, very thick. And court means millions. And they're looking at Maharaj. It's a Musliman, Tadi Jata. His name was Abdullah and Nathamal. They were looking at Maharaj and saying, Oh Maharaj, the strength in your arms. Because if you look at the Chola of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, which they have still got today in the Chola Sahib, Gurdwara Sahib, they say that Maharaj Ji was approximately 6'4" or 6'5" in height. And how somebody's chest is normally about 46 or 48 when going round, but Maharaj's was that in one side. So Maharaj's chest was about 45, 46 inches one side. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Pacha, this is how big they were. So they're looking at Maharaj, they're looking at Maharaj's arms and they're saying, Himmat baha court God. This is like millions of fortresses. This is how much strength you've got in your arms, O Maharaj. And they're praising Maharaj. They're saying, Darwaza Balak Bakir ji, Nal Sapali Neel Nal. They're saying this Sipahi, this warrior, he's wearing blue robes. So Maharaj ji must have been wearing a blue chola. So they're looking at Maharaj and saying, Maharaj ji, that warrior that is wearing this blue chola, Mara Dushta Kare Takir ji, he is here now to take the heads of the tyrants. And then the last thing they said, they looked at Maharaj, because this is when the dastar changed. Before this, the dastar was there, but the importance wasn't shown of the dastar. Guru Nanak Badshah to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, they also wore dastara, but the style of the dastar changed. Now, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, the dastar that they were wearing on that day, this Tadi looked at Maharaj and they said, Pag teri ki Jahangir di. They said, oh Maharaj, they said, look at your turban and look at the dastar of Jahangir, the emperor of that time. They said, his dastar is nothing compared to yours, O Maharaj. Because Maharaj wore a plume on the dastar and it showed the greatness of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Badshah. This is Pag teri ki Jahangir di. Kende teri pag. Kende, what is Jahangir's pag tere samne, Maharaj? And they were praising Maharaj Ji like this. So there's a change that is now starting to take place. Everything has started to change. Asa Divar Kirtan is still there. The Shantamai Ras is still there. But then there's these Bir Ras Vara being sung that fills us with this warrior spirit. And then Maharaj ne Mangafe Kehoji Kiti. What was Maharaj Ji saying to the Sikh to bring to the house of the Guru? Was Maharaj Ji asking for money? No. What was Maharaj Ji asking for? Maharaj Ji saying, yes, if you want to bring offerings, because people were bringing the offerings, people were bringing money. But Maharaj Ji said, no, now is the time. If you want to bring offerings to the house of the Guru, now I want you to bring your Jawani. I want you to bring your youth. Maharaj Ji says, if you want to bring something now, bring Shastar. And they said it went crazy where they used to make Shastar. There were so many Shastars that now were starting to being produced that it was hard to find someone to make so many weapons. Maharaj Ji says, yes, bring your Jawani, bring your youth. Be ready to die. Pehla maran kabul jeevan ki shad aas. Ho sabna ki rehn ka ta aao hamare paas. Maharaj Ji saying, now be ready to die. Put this head on the palm of your hand if you want to play this game of love. Maharaj Ji saying, we're not going to stand up now. We're not going to stand for this oppression. Maharaj Ji says, now it's time to take the sword within this hand. They're saying, bring now, I want you to bring peta of Kore. Bring the best horses that are out there. So the whole concept is changing. So remember, the question is why? Why was Maharaj Ji imprisoned? What else was happening at that time? What other changes did Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji bring? What was built at that time? A throne was built called Akal Takht Sahib. Who built this throne for a start? Who built this thara? The Akal Takht Sahib. Baba Buddha Ji, Bhai Gurdas Ji. And Partha themselves, very young of age. Remember, at the age of 9 they became the Guru. So they're only about 15, 16 when all of this is happening. In their absolute, what they call is ripening Jawani, in their ripening youth, this is all taking place. So they built now the Akal Takht. And what is happening in here, if you see a picture there, it's a picture of a court. The small disputes that used to take place around Punjab, people actually stopped going to the government. People stopped going to the people of Jahangir. The country's emperor, people weren't looking for him for justice anymore. People knew that I can go and get justice where true justice is going to be served. I know I can go somewhere where everything is going to be done accordingly to the truth. And I know that over here nobody's going to get bribed. So I'm not going to get done over here. So people were starting to come. This became like a small court. So people wouldn't go to anyone else. Hardly anybody were going to the local courts because people knew they can come to Guru Sahib. So they're coming to Shemit Badshah, they were coming here and getting their disputes resolved. So what's actually happening here? What else was built? Another picture you see here is of a fortress called Lohgarh Sahib, which is a Gurdwara Sahib today. Maharaj Ji had a fortress built. So what is this now? Maharaj Ji's got an army together. They've built up an army. Okay? They've got their own court system. They've got their own fortress. So what's happening here? And people now are starting to talk. And people are saying that this is their own little government that's been set up here. So then the Chugal Kaurs of that time, the people that would spread gossip started to talk. Who were these gossipers of that time? Were people like Chandu. People like Chandu started to speak, and things started getting back to Jahangir. People have started to say to Jahangir, oh Jahangir, somebody's standing up against you. You've got another government in place. What are you doing with your eyes closed? Because Jahangir was busy in Gujarat. He was trying to sort out disputes in Gujarat, so he wasn't paying attention to Punjab at that time. And Punjab at that time, Maharaj was becoming powerful. There was an army in place. So what's here? What's happening here? So people have gone back to Jahangir, and Jahangir is trying to get a little bit more suchet. He's waking up. He's thinking, we need to take things into our hand. What's happening here? There's another government taking place. So Jahangir says, whoever is leading Punjab at the moment, the governor of Punjab needs to be changed. At that time, the governor of Punjab was somebody called Saad Khan. He was there, he was stuck in his own pleasures. So what Jahangir did was, he took Saad Khan away and put somebody that was very Jabir in place, that was very stone-hearted in place. He put somebody in place called Murtaza Khan. And he was totally against Guru Sahib. So what did he start to do? He started to report each and little thing back. He started to say, tell Jahangir everything that was happening at that time. He told Jahangir about the army that was in place. He told Jahangir about the armies. He told him about the horses. He started to tell him about everything. So Jahangir now, he said, I can't call Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Badshah. I can't arrest them straight because I've got no true reason to arrest them. So what do I do? So he thought, I need to plan something. I need to trick them somehow. So he sends two of his vizier, two of his servants that worked for him. From Delhi, Jahangir sent two people to Sheme Badshah. Their names were Vizier Khan and Gunche Beg. These two people, they were actually ashiks of Maharaj. Jahangir didn't know this. Vizier Khan, a Muslim of that time. Because you got to remember at that time there were many Musliman and there were many Hindus that had love for Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah. Because they all stemmed from Panjame Badshah. And Vizier Khan, he was a Sikh of Maharaj. So even though he went to Delhi, when he went to Delhi, from Delhi, he went to Amritsar. When he got to Amritsar and he met Maharaj, and he did benti, he said, Jahangir has called you. And he said, Maharaj, Jahangir has called you. And Badshah said, Asi Sikha de na salah karke tanu dasunge. Being the Guru themselves, they didn't give them job, they didn't give him an answer, yes, I'll go to Delhi with you, I'll go and see the emperor. But instead, said that I'm going to speak to the Sikhs first. Sikh ghabrage. And the Sikhs at that time got very frightened. They said, when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Badshah went to Lahore, they never returned back. And this Badshah, we can't see this, we can't see the same happening to you. Because at this time, Badshah was only about 18 years old. He says, you're the light of our life. And we can't bear to think if the same happens to you, what happened to Pitaji. Yes, father went, but when father went, father didn't return. But now, Badshah, we can't bear to see you go. But by Buddha ji, by Gurdas ji ne, what they did was, unhe salah karke, they sat down and they spoke. Mata Ganga ji also came and said it will be best that they go. That if the emperor has called, it's best that they leave. Something here very important for us to all remember. Even though Badshah knows that the emperor has called them, even though they know that when my father went, they didn't return because they got a shaheed. So they were thinking out this time, but Badshah kabraye nahi. Badshah ne apna name nahi chhadya. What happens to us at times like this? When somebody's at this type of time knowing that you've been called by Jahangir and you don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to imprison Maharaj? Maharaj di shahidi ho jani hai. What is he going to do to Maharaj? Is he going to murder Maharaj? But Maharaj dole nahi. dege na dole, dirad kar rahe ho. This is how a Gursikh should be, firm. And Badshah stayed as they were. When they woke up in the morning, Amrit Vela Diwan still took place. Still in the morning, Asadi Varda Kirtan happened. Har Amrit Pinne Loina, Man Prem Ratanna Ram Raje. The Bani was still sang. And Badshah listened to the Gurbani throughout, not moving an inch. Gursikh Pyaro, this is what you call Anand. This is what you call Sacha Naam Mera Adaro. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah showed that my support is the name of Waheguru, is the name of God. No matter, even at this time, they know, they didn't think 1 minute, they didn't waver. 1 moment they didn't waver. But what about apni halt kiya? What is the state of us? People say today, this word has been belittled. The word Anand, we use this word all the time. People say, the people of the world say Anand, Anand, sab ko kahe. People say this word all the time. People eat a prashada. People eat something nice. Somebody has a pizza to eat. They say, Anand aa gaya. People watch a film and say, Balle, wow, Anand aa gaya. People drink a glassy and they say, Kya baat, Anand aa gaya. Somebody gets their hair styled. They say, wow, Anand aa gaya. But Badshah says, Anand, Anand, sab ko kahe. Anand, Guru te janeya. No, this isn't Anand. You can only know Anand through the Guru, through the true Guru. What does Anand mean? Anand is that happiness that never comes to end. We say when a child is born, we say, this is the most extreme Anand that I could ever experience. I've heard people say this. They said, when my son was born, I've never experienced anything other like this. This is, to me, this is what true bliss is. Is that bliss? Truly, is that bliss? If that same child gets ill within the same week, are you in the same happiness? If that same child doesn't live up to your expectation, are you in that same happiness? If you're not, then I'm sorry to say that's not Anand. People say, I've eaten a pizza, I'm in Anand. 4 hours later, you get hungry again and say, Mainu bhukh lagi hai. That's not Anand. Anand doesn't die. Anand isn't where somewhere jadon bhukh dwara lag jave. Jadon ek wari Anand aa gaya. It's no such thing as Anand dying. People today, they lose 4 pounds and they cry in the morning. They find it difficult to sit in the morning and do their part. They find it difficult to sit in the morning and remember Guru Nanak Badshah. How can we call that Anand? What is true Anand? Anand is what Guru Gobind Singh Ji Badshah had. People today, they cry over losing 4 pounds, losing 40 pounds, losing 4,000 pounds, losing 40,000 pounds. But Guru Badshah lost 4 sons. But ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਫੇਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਟੁੱਟਿਆ. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Badshah, they lost 4 sons, but they still remain the same. That is what Anand is, Guru Sikh Pyareo. We need to realize, let's not belittle this word. Anand is an avastha, Anand is a state that never dies. Anand isn't something that when somebody is born, we laugh and we're in joy, and when somebody dies, then we cry. No, there's no such thing as crying. A Gursikh, what does Chardi Kala mean? Chardi doesn't mean kite, sometimes I'm in this state of bliss. Chardi Kala means Chardi, forever rising bliss. Sikh ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਆਨੰਦ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ. Because what's happened in Dharam is people say, well, I've started to do part, I've grown my case out, why am I still dukhi? I walked towards Sikhi, I stopped eating meat, but last week still, why did I lose my job? Because people think that Dharam, that religion equals the pleasure of the body, that religion equals the happiness of this body. Gursikh Pyareo, Bhai Mati Das's body was cut into half. Are we going to say, what did he get out of Dharam? But ask Bhai Mati Das's mind. Bande da manya pakka ho janda. It's ask Bhagat Kabir Ji. It says, man na dige. Tan kahe ko daraye. This says, my mind isn't wavering. Why are you trying to put fear on my body? Because Bhagat Kabir Ji, they were tied in shackles. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਗਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੰਨਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. But somebody said, Bhagat Kabir Ji says, man na dige. My mind is standing still where it was standing. These chains do nothing to me. Don't try and put fear in my body. If you want to try and throw something, try and throw my mind. Bhai Mati Das's man was still standing where it was. That's what Anand is. We need to try and understand what Anand is. Come to the Guru. That's when you find out what true Anand is, what true bliss, what true happiness is. It's a happiness that will never, never come to an end. It's going to keep increasing. It's going to get deeper. So coming back to Guru Badshah, Badshah then now leaves. Badshah now leaves and they go from Amritsar. From Amritsar, Badshah travels to Delhi. In Delhi, Badshah meets Jahangir. And they've stayed in Delhi. But when Jahangir meets Badshah, when you meet somebody like this, Rajan Raj, Panan Pan, who is the king of kings, who is the son of sons, who actually gives light to the sun, then you realize yourself, when you can see the sun yourself, and you can see that light shining, even Jahangir starts to fall for Badshah. Even Jahangir sees Badshah and starts to fall for Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah. How can you not when you see such a Guru? And when he starts to fall for Badshah, he didn't want to let Badshah go back. He said to Badshah, he said to Guru Har Gobind Sahib, he said, come with me, I'm going to Agra. Travel with me. And Badshah said, okay. Badshah Agra gaye naal. 10 ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ. 3 things took place in Agra. When they traveled to Agra, 3 things took place. Once when they were out, and when Jahangir went out to do shikar, when he was out there hunting, when the emperor was out there hunting, Badshah wasn't hunting. What was Badshah doing? They were doing udar. They were helping the world. People, it's just that people's can't see what they're doing. People's eyes don't allow them to see what is happening. When Badshah went out there, a lion came to attack Jahangir, and all of Jahangir's army starts to run back of seeing this lion. When all the army runs back, Guru Badshah comes forward. A Badshah ne apni taal puts the shield forward. Can you imagine a lion, how big a lion is? But if you imagine Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah, 6'5", a 50-inch chest wide, a Badshah puts their shield forward. They stopped a lion with their shield. A Badshah, with their force and strength, they were able to push that lion away. And Jahangir was impressed even more so. Jahangir always had one question in his mind. When reports came back to Jahangir, when the slanderers, when the chugalkars, when the gossipers were talking, there's one thing that always came back to Jahangir. He had one question. Why do they call Guru Har Gobind Sahib Sache Padshah? Why do they call him Sache Padshah? I'm the Badshah, I'm the emperor, I'm the king. People call me Badshah. So why is it they're calling them Badshah? This was always in his mind. This was eating him alive. Before we go forward, if we look at the translation, what is Badshah? What is Badshah? The word Shah comes from somebody that looks after something. Bad comes from the word Vad Vivad, is little disputes. Somebody that sorts out somebody's disputes. That's who a Badshah is. A Badshah is an emperor that puts fear in people. And he rules over them. He puts fear in people, then he rules over them with his fear. That's what a Badshah is. But Gursikh Pyare, what is a Badshah? Badshah comes from the word Pat, Pat meaning honor. Shah, somebody that looks after somebody's honor. Badshah oh hunda jehda kisi di pat take, who is there to protect somebody's honor. Why did they call them Sache Badshah? Because Sache Badshah is not somebody that rules over the people and puts fear in them and rules over lands. A Badshah, Sache Badshah, is that has captured people's hearts. A Badshah is somebody that rules over people's hearts. Up top, 2 tents were set up here in Agra. And there was a Kaya. A Kaya is somebody that cuts grass for a living. And he sells that grass on. He wanted to see Badshah. He had heard stories. He had heard things about Badshah. But he had never seen Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Badshah before. He had only 1 taka. You can call it equivalent to half a penny or a penny. That's all he had. And he said, I want to take this to Badshah ji, I want to take this to Guru Sahib. But as he saw there was 2 tents up, he accidentally went into the tent of Jahangir. He went into the tent of the emperor of that time. And he put that taka down, he put that half a penny down, and he did namaskar, he did matha tek to Jahangir. And Jahangir looked at him and he thought, and he worked it out, unu pata lag gaya, ek galat paase aa gaya Sikh. He's come to the wrong person. He's supposed to go to Guru Har Gobind Sahib, but he's accidentally come here. Par unhe dassya nahi, Jahangir chup raha. He didn't tell him. Jahangir said, Dasso, what do you want? You come to an emperor, what do you want? And he put his hands together and he says, Is gareeb di laaj rakhiyo ji. He said, look after this week. I am very poor. And he said, look after me not only in this world, hold my arm, hold my hand in this world, but please hold my arm when this body leaves me too. Not only in lok I want you to look after me, but in parlok, jado sareer na vi raha na, meri odo vi baan phad liyo ji. This is what this guy said. And Jahangir said, Giz mainu aaj samjh aayi ke unnu sache Badshah kyun aakhde a. Kar mera sambandh keval is duniya de naal a. Because my link is only with this world. I cannot hold your arm in this world after here. And he said, I'm Jahangir, you've come to the wrong person. He said, Sache Badshah, himself he said these words. He said, Sache Badshah is in the other tent. He's the one that can hold your arm in this world after too. He can be there for when your body is not here. I'm only here for people now. I can give you money, but once you leave Agra, once you go to Delhi, I can't even be for you in Delhi. But there's a Sache Badshah sitting in that tent can be for you wherever you are. He can hold your hand. Gursikh Pyaro, today, read Guru Nanak's Bani and he's not far from you. Gur mere sang sada hai nale. Guru kaun hai? Who is the Guru? Guru is your Bani. Sit down in the morning and don't sit down in the morning and think, I have to read this Bani. Sit down in the morning and think Guru Nanak Badshah is speaking to me. Sit down in the morning and when you say the words of Jap Sahib, rolling off your tongue, Gobinde Mukande, Udare Apare, Haryang Karyang, Nirname Akame. When you're saying these words, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Badshah is holding your hand. When you sit there and saying Anand Paya Meri Mae, Sat Guru Mai Paya, Guru Amrdas Ji Badshah is sitting there and holding your hand. This Bani is the Guru. Let the Bani hold your hand. Let the Bani speak to you. Let the Bani become alive. Don't just read the Bani, go out and live the Bani. When you go out there and walk the Bani, you will become the Guru. You will become the Guru's roop. Khalsa mera roop hai khas. You will become the roop of the Khalsa. The Guru holds your hand. He's there today with us. Don't think of him to be far. Kadi sanj pa ke vekho, try and make that link between you and the Guru. Read his Bani. And we think that somebody can imprison Maharaj. We think that Jahangir called Maharaj to Delhi. And we think it's because of Jahangir that Guru Badshah is there sitting in Agra today. Let us not be mistaken. Guru Badshah is azad. Guru Badshah is free, no matter what. Why was Guru Badshah truly in Agra? Because there was a Bibi that got married, who was a believer of the Guru's house, but she was then married off to somebody that didn't believe in the Guru. She was married off that somebody that didn't believe in the Guru. She begged them. She used to say, please take me to see Guru Har Gobind Sahib. To kehndे ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਜਾਣਾ. Says, we're not going to take you, we don't believe in this Guru. She used to sit there crying day and night. She used to say these words. This is her state. She used to be darsan pyasi din sarat chitvo an din neet. She wanted Guru Badshah's darshan. She wanted to see them. She wanted to have their vision. She used to sit there crying. Swer no ishnan kardi sigi, uddam kare, palke parpati ishnan kare, amrit sar naave, upadesh Guru har har jap jape, sab kilvik paap dokh leh jave. She used to wake up early hours in the morning, used to do ishnan, and she used to sit there and cry. And she used to say, I want to see you, O Badshah. O Guru Har Gobind Badshah, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਦੋਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਬਖਸ਼ੋਗੇ? darshan pyasi din sarat, chitvo an din neet. She used to be sitting there crying. And Badshah heard this sister's cries. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕੀਤੀ. ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ Badshah was sitting there in Agra, sitting in the tent. ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਦੀ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ. ਸੰਗਤਾਂ sitting there ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ, sitting there, doing darshan of Badshah. And Badshah ਇੱਕਦਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਥਾਨ ਉੱਪਰ ਉੱਠੇ. Badshah suddenly gets up, jumps on the horse and said, and the Sikh are running after Maharaj. Said, Maharaj, where are you going? And Maharaj just went off on their ਘੋੜੇ. Maharaj ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਘੋੜੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਛਾਲ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਗਏ, Maharaj came and stood their ਘੋੜਾ outside this Bibi's house. And Badshah says, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭੈਣ ਮੇਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਰੋਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦੇ ਹੁਣ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੂੰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਿਆਸੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ. She says, who you was crying out for, I am here. Oh my sister, open them doors. You don't need to cry anymore. Who are you? The person you are sitting there doing part for, he's standing outside of your house. Kate bhavna hove. And we think our Guru won't come and see us today. We need to have bhavna, we need to have love like that Bibi. And we was thinking that Badshah is there because of Jahangir. Badshah is there for their Sikh. Ek gal, Badshah de gallan vich raaz ya, there's a secret behind what each and everything the Guru does. Just like somebody said, a saying, jaise kele ke paat mein paat hai. If you look at a banana tree, it's full of leaves. But ek patta chakko, dusra chakko, tija chakko, chautha chakko, ante vich othe. You don't have to be nirase. You don't have to give up your hopes, because in the end there'll be a banana there. But there's a lot of leaves to get through first. We may not understand what the Guru is doing. Jaise kele ke paat mein paat hai, waise hi Guru ke baat mein baat hai. That's like the Guru's gal. Apan nu aam bande nu samjh nahi aandi. What was Guru Sahib really doing in Agra? He was there to give that Bibi darshan who was crying out to see Badshah ji. So Guru Sikh pyare, fir bahana ki banaya? What was the reason then? Why? How did Badshah then end up eventually in Gwalior? Karke jehde Chogalkar se, the gossipers, they thought eh ta gal putti pੈ ਗਈ. They thought everything's turned against us. Everything's turned against us. We was thinking Jahangir will call Maharaj and imprison them. Jidda ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ Guru Arjan Dev ji ਨੂੰ ਕੀਤਾ. He's actually become friends with them. ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਖੇਡ ਵਰਤ ਗਈ. So what they did was, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ Jahangir, he was very superstitious. So what happened was he started to fall ill. And this fakir came up to him. Chandu set this fakir to go to Jahangir and said, the only way you're going to get better, the only way your health is going to improve, is if you send a great saint, and there's no one greater than Guru Har Gobind Sahib, if you send a great saint like Guru Har Gobind Sahib to Gwalior, to a fortress, and to meditate for you for 40 days. If you send them there for 40 days, teri sehat theek ho jayegi, you will get better. And Badshah ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਖੇਡਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ. Badshah knew everything was happening. So what did they do? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕੀਤੀ. And they said, okay, I'll go to Gwalior. I'll go to this fortress. So they didn't say we're imprisoning you. They said we're sending you there to meditate for Jahangir, for his better health. When Badshah went to Gwalior, what happened in Gwalior? When Badshah reached this place, this fortress, this prison, ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ? Who was here? Who was imprisoned here? There was the hill Rajas. But when Badshah, when Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah, when they went to Gwalior, what happened? The same thing that used to happen at Amritsar, the same thing happened in Gwalior. This place became like heaven. This place became like Sachkhand. This place, what started to happen in this prison? In the morning, Kirtan started to happen. Katha started to happen. Bani started to be read in this prison. The whole atmosphere of this prison changed. And what else did Partha do? Somebody that was in charge of the prison, somebody called Hardas, he said to Badshah, he said, I am Hajar. Don't see me here as somebody that works for the government. I'm here as your Sikh. I want to serve you, Hardas said. He was in charge of the prison. And he said that there'll be food sent for you every day. You will have 100 rupees sent for you every day that you can use on anything you want. And Badshah says, I will not take this money. 5 Sikh naal sige, Badshah de naal. Those 5 Sikh were who? Was somebody called Baba Bidhi Chand, Bhai Bidhi Chand, Bhai Jetha ji, Bhai Prag ji, Bhai Prana ji, Bhai Raju ji. These Sikh in naal sige Badshah de. And Badshah said, we are not going to eat from the money of this government, this blood money. But instead, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ, they will go out to the villages and they'll do majduri, they'll go out and do labor, and the money that they earn, I'll eat from that money. And then they got themselves a job with pottery and carving pots. So when those Sikhs used to bring Badshah food, what happened in this Gwalior jail? The whole atmosphere changed. Because Badshah says in Gurbani, this says, Sangat ka gun bahut adkai, par sua ganak udare. What does this mean? Sangat ka gun bahut adkai. Over here, the word gun, it means that when you go and do sangat somewhere, the oda asar bahut hunda hai. When you go and do sangat somewhere, people say today, no, I'm strong. It doesn't matter who I go and sit amongst. I'm not going to change. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to stay the same. I'm going to remain as I am. I'm not going to change. But people don't realize that how strong it is your environment that you sit in and how it can change you. You've got to be very careful of the congregation you hold. And what did Partha do? They changed these prisoners that were inside. And they all started to sing Waheguru's Gun. And they all with jas vich jud gaye. And what happened, and what we want to truly look at today is that nobody can really imprison Maharaj. Somebody asked Guru Har Gobind Sahib Badshah, this is Maharaj, why are you still happy when you're in prison? He says, you're in prison but you're still happy, why? Badshah said, because they can't imprison my mind. This is the reason I'm on this earth is to sing his praises. The reason I'm here is to say Waheguru, and call out to him. They said, I'm in here, I'm Sukhi, because they've never been able to capture my mind. In here, I'm still doing what I need to do in this life. So what is there to be unhappy about? There's only one reason to be unhappy, and that's if we turn our backs to Waheguru. It's when we turn our back. That's the only time. That's when true pain comes in our lives. So what does it really mean to be imprisoned for us? This Badshah's Bani says, this is Bal Shutkeo. Bandan pare, kachu na hotyo pae, kaho Nanak ab ot har gajyo ho sahai. This Bani is Naume Badshah's Bani, is the 9th Guru's Bani. ਇਹ ਨੌਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਆ, ਭੋਗ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ. These are called ਭੋਗ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ, and it's read at the end of Gurbani. Over here, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, what does it truly mean to be imprisoned? What does this fortress mean for us? Do we need to ask ourselves the question, are we free or are we imprisoned? Have we truly got strength? We may think we've got strength. ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲ ਕੱਢ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, we think we've got a lot of strength. A husband swears at his wife thinking he's got a lot of strength. He loses his temper and he lifts his hand on his wife, he thinks he's got strength. Is that truly strength? Somebody rages, somebody's lost in greed and he's trying to become bigger and better, but he doesn't care what comes in his way. He'll lie, he'll cheat, he'll do fraud. He doesn't care. He'll do fraud tax. No matter what, he'll do it to get bigger in society because he's been led by greed. Are we truly imprisoned or are we free? Badshah says, Bal Shutkeo. This says, Shutkeo means jado koi cheez shad ho jave. When something is gone from us, we have not got it anymore. We look in the mirror, we might see something that is strong. But truly, is that our true state or is that our true state? What does it mean to be strong in the eyes of the Guru? Today people think, yes, I'm Mr. Macho, he goes to the pub, he sits here, does Matha Tek on Diwali day, and then he goes to the pub and picks up a pint as well. Is he really strong? Right. There you go, you heard it from God speaking himself. You're not going to hear it better than that. So Partha is saying, Bal Shutkyo. This is, you've got no strength. Bandan pare. Bandan means you're imprisoned. You're in bondage. Why? Because you've been controlled by lob. You've been controlled by hankar. We've been controlled by calm. So we've truly not got our own strength, have we? We've only got our own strength if we've overcome these, if we're in control of them. So the true state is that Bal Shutkyo, I've got no strength because I've been run by these five. Anger's running me. So how am I strong? Greed's running me. Calm, lust is running me. How does it truly make me strong? Bal Shutkyo, Bandan pare. No, the true thing is that I'm imprisoned. Partha, this is Badshah's Bani. I'm stuck. I'm in prison. They've taken over me. I'm not able to do anything because it's them doing everything. It's anger that's doing everything. It's not me that's doing anything anymore. Who is this that is robbing us? We think we're free, but no, we're not free. Badshah says, Is dehi andar panch chor vasah kaam krodh lobh moh hankara. They said they're in us, robbing us in daylight. We can't see, but we're being robbed. We've been robbed by these five. We've been robbed by anger. We've been robbed by lust. We've been robbed by greed. We've been robbed by attachment. We've been robbed by ego. This is Badshah's Bani. They're saying, Is dehi andar. Is dehi de andari. Within this body, panch chor vasa hai. Are we truly free or are we in prison? Who's handling us? Who's running us? And then what do they go and say? What are they doing? Amrit loot hai. Man mukh nahi booj hai. Koi na sune pukara. And this is Amrit loot hai. They are plundering us. They are taking away that nectar from inside of us. What Amrit are they taking from us? They are taking our gun. They are taking Sat away from us. They're taking the truth away from us. They're taking Santok away from us. Greed is taking contentment away from us. Sat, Santok, they are that compassion. They're robbing us from that compassion. This is what these chor do to us. The Amrit, the Gun Rupa Amrit, these virtues that are in us, they're taking us from us. Amrit loote, man mukh nahi buje, koi na sune pukara. Antar khuta Amrit parya, sabde kaad piye panhari. The Amrit is inside of us. This is the only body, this is the only opportunity we have. Even the Devate, even the demigods, even those, they're gasping for this body. Is dehi ko simrhe dev. The Devate, oh kende sanu e sareer mil jave. Because in this body, you've got something where you can be liberated, where you can be free from that cycle of birth and death, where you can be free. How can we be free from that cycle? If first we are free from the panch chor. Je aapa panch choran nu nahi jit sake, then there's no Waheguru waiting for us when we drop dead. People have got this very strange concept today. They think we can do what we want, go to the Gurdwara a little bit, keep lying, keep doing what we want to do. But when we drop dead, and people say, Falana ho chadai kar gaya, fe Waheguru Rab kol chale gaya hun. Acha bhai sahab, fe bandagi wale nahi unne sharab piti sari umar. And people they're fooled. They think you drop dead and you go to God. And they think it's as simple as that. It doesn't quite work like that, Guru Sikh Pyareo. What is the concept of Gurbani? Those same chor, that anger that we've not been able to deal with, that calm, that lust that we've not been able to deal with, if we've not dealt with them, when we drop dead, those are going to switch on us. They're going to become the jam. They're going to become the messengers of death that are going to take us away, not to Rabb, but we're going to pay for our accounts for what we've done. So don't be disillusioned. Don't have a shock of when this body goes to think, Aki hoya, where is he? And then looking around. If we become one with Waheguru now, we'll remain one with Waheguru when this body drops. If we haven't become one with him now, then don't expect it after death. It's quite simple. The concept is very simple. Okay, but there is something in this body that is very special. It's called Naam. You've got this opportunity within this life to call out to Him. Call His name. Call Him so much that there is nothing left of you. What does that mean? That there is nothing left of your ego. That everything becomes about Him. Your life is just full of Guru. Wherever you do, you ask the Guru first. Wherever you walk, you ask the Guru first. Wherever you look, you ask the Guru first. You ask the Guru, is it okay to look at Prai Istri with these akkhan? And your Guru will give you a jawab and say no. He'll say if you do that, your akkhan will get polluted. This says these akkhan will get maliyan, will get dirty. This is what the Guru will give you a jawab as. So Gursikh Pyaro, this is not only to cry about, to say we are stuck, oh my God, ਅਸੀਂ ਮਰ ਗਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਲੁੱਟ ਗਏ, ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਸਾਡਾ ਕੀ ਬਣੂਗਾ. Look, there's a way forward. We're going to leave on a positive note. It's not to think this is it, it's all over for me, I can't escape, ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਮਰ ਗਿਆ, ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ. You know, we're not here to cry about things. Okay? There's a way out. There's something that we can do to escape. Just before we look at the escape route, a lot of things, this is what have happened to a lot of people. I'm going to go through this quickly, I know time's getting by. This is where a lot of people are in their life. Like this Daddu. This Daddu has just newly fallen into this well. So this Daddu honi nama aaya hai ਖੂਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਪਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡੱਡੂ ਆ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਇਹ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੀ ਖੂਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੇ. ਪਰ ਇਹ ਨਵਾਂ ਆਇਆ ਹੁਣ ਬੰਦਾ. And they will say, ਕੂਪ ਭਰਿਓ ਜੈਸੇ ਦਾਦਿਰਾ. Koop is a deep well. And Partha is saying, Koop paryo, jaise dadira. Dadira is frogs. Partha says there's a well that is full of frogs. And kat des, bades na booj. You know these frogs, daddu ana. Partha kende kat des. Des means the country that they live in. You know, outside that well, you know the country that they're living in. The ones that are born in there, they don't know about that country. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ. So if that well's in Birmingham, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, Birmingham ਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ. And Partha says, Bades na booj. Booj means to understand. ਕਿ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. Bades means other countries. So never mind ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ Birmingham ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ. Never mind knowing about France. ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ Birmingham ਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ. ਉਹ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਆ. What does this mean? Partha says, Aise mera man bikhya be mohoya kach ara par na sooj. Let me explain what this means. There was a daddu in here, looking very happy. Bahut khosh siga. Jera daddu baru aaya na, he's just seen the world. He knows how big the world is. Jera baru daddu aaya, oh dusre daddu kehda, tu inna khosh kyun hai? He says, why are you so happy? He says, I've just been around the world. And he goes, what? Because you're in a coup. He goes, you're in a well, tu kehri duniya dekh liya. He goes, no. He goes, tenu ki pata? He goes, I jumped that way. He goes, main idhar nu shaal mari te mera sir kand vich vajya. I goes, main idhar nu shaal mari te mera sir kand vich vajya. Idhar nu. He goes, main chare kone dekh le duniya de. He says, I've seen the four corners of the world. He goes, sir mera bhajya, look, here's the nishani. He goes, that's why I'm happy, because I've just seen the world. He goes, oh bholya. He goes, tu duniya nahi dekhi. Because you've not seen the world yet. Because you're stuck in a little well, you foolish daddu. He goes, try and come out of here and you'll realize what the world is. What does this mean for us? ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਚਾਰ ਕਸ਼ਾਲਾਂ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ. ਇੱਕ ਛਾਲ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ. I'm not saying not to do ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ, I'm giving you an example here. And a person says, ਮੈਂ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਿਆ ਆ, I've seen the world. ਉਹਨੇ ਛਾਲ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ I've got a great job, yeah, I'm on 100k a year, ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗਾ, ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਵੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇਖ ਲਈ, yeah, I've clocked it, I have, yeah. ਉੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਛਾਲ ਮਾਰੀ, ਫਿਰ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਿਆ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇਖ ਲਈ. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ there's two more. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਦੇਖ ਲਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਸਕੂਲ ਪਾਉਣਾ. You know, and ਬਹੁਤ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਉੱਚੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ ਆ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. And I hear people saying today, the best thing I can do for my children, I'm going to give him a good education है ना ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਛਾਲ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਦੇਖ ਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਘਰ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ I'm done my life is complete you know that's me done ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਾ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ about life ਪਰ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇਖੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਨਾ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਜਪਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕੇਵਲ ਇਸ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਣਿਆ that person that isn't indulged in these pleasures in just these physical pleasures but there's somebody that has experienced a spiritual life ਜਿਹਨੇ ਆਤਮਿਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਬੜੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਆ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਬਸ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਤੂੰ ਦੇਖਿਆ is that all we're here for are we here just to build a house the spiders that are building a house if you see webs that's their house spiders are building a house look at the birds they're building nests they're building a house है ना ਆਪਾਂ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਆ I've got children I've got a job you know I'm just trying to explain here that this isn't it that's not all we're here for the reason for here being in this on this earth is completely different to what we've been illusioned to think ਬਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਘਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਿਗਰੀਆਂ ਹਾਸਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਤਮਿਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਮਾਣਨ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ we've come here to experience that spiritual life when you experience that life then Partha says जितने रस अनरस हम देखे तितने सब फीक फिकाने ਫੇ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਚਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਪਲੇਟ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਦਿਖਾਲਦਾ ਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਦੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਫਿੱਕਾ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਆਨੰਦ ਆ ਗਿਆ when you get that pleasure of reciting his name you'll realize what life is truly about and that dude says you've seen nothing oh my friend ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ 4 ਹਲੇ ਛਾਲਾਂ ਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਹਲੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਰਾਹ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਵੇਖ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਕੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਆ that little life is nothing when you experience the life that you can experience within yourself then you'll realize these pleasures are nothing ਬੰਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਤੋਂ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਤੋਂ ਕੇਸ ਕੱਟਣੇ ਸਾਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ because you've never experienced something greater than that ਕਿਸੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੜਾ ਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖੇਡ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੜੀ ਆ if you want to get a toy out of the hand of a child ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ I've got an 18-month-old ਲੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਦੇਵੇ no he won't give it to me but if I give him something better ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਉਹ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ he won't even know when he's dropped the other thing because he's found something better when you experience what naam is when you experience what this path is about ਫਿਰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਣਾ ਯਾਰ ਕੇਸ ਨਾ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਕਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਣਾ you'll look in the mirror and say ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੇਸ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ because you've experienced something much greater than this body ਹੈ ਨਾ this is the path we're going to walk on to experience that life so Gursikh Pira don't give up hope don't think this is it Baljit Singh's depressed us and he's saying we're stuck in Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Ahankar that's it we've been beaten there's a way out do ardas ਸਿੱਖ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਾਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਨਾ ਬਲ ਛੁੱਟ ਕਿਓ when you've got no strength ਬਲ ਛੁੱਟ ਕਿਓ ਬੰਧਨ ਪਰੇ ਕਛੂ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਪਾਏ ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਅਬ ਓਟ ਹਰ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਰ ਗਿਆ I admit I've lost ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਅਬ ਓਟ ਹਰ I want your support now O Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj today we can go home before we go home we can say to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj I've lost I can't beat this anger I can't beat this chore but ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਅਬ ਓਟ ਹਰ ਗੱਜ ਜੋ ਹੋ ਸਹਾਏ just like you helped that elephant from the crocodile now I want you to help me I've lost do ardas ਆ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦਾ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਕੱਤਿਕ ਦੇ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦਾ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ says do ardas ਨਾਨਕ ਕੋ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਰਾਖ ਲਹੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਲੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੂੰ this is Guru Arjan Dev Ji saying this is the ardas the teaching us how to speak ਨਾਨਕ ਕੋ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਰਾਖ ਲੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਲੋ keep me save me ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੰਦੀ ਮੋਚ oh my master oh my ਸਾਹਿਬ oh Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our master ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੰਦੀ ਮੋਚ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਧਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਕਤ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਆ We are imprisoned by Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, but He can make us, He can help us to escape. He can save us because He's Bandi Shor. Oh Satguru Sanu Bandi Shor. He can take us out of this little life that we are stuck in. Yes, live your grist life, but apna man grist vitton ucha chak ke jiyo. Just like that kamal da full. Jaise jal mein kamal niralam, murgai ne sane. This is what Guru Badshah says. Live within this mud, but don't let the mud touch you. Learn how to live from the Guru. Nanak Sadguru Petiye, Puri Hove Jogat. Learn the Jogat, learn the secrets from the true Guru, from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Do Ardas today. Bandi Moch, the word Moch means the releaser. He's the one that releases us from these things. Katik Hove Sad Sang, Bin Se Sabbe Soch. Everybody today is stuck in anxiety. Sare sochan vich phase paye ne. But there's somebody that can help you to escape. Katik, what's the upadesh for this month? Hove Sad Sang, what we're doing now. This is called Sangat. Sangat means when we come somewhere, apano turan vaste pata lag jave, how do we get to my Guru truly? Satsang, what does satsang mean? When you come and sit by someone and you realize what is the truth. When you come and realize what is the truth, that is satsang. So this is the way, what we're doing now. Do sangat and realize the way and be liberated, truly be liberated. And Sheme Partha, this is unhone tars khada rajiyan te. They helped these Raja to escape from this prison. Because why? Not only Partha won't hold this sword, but their heart was delicate like this flower. Because Panj Pyale, Panj Peer, Shatham Peer Baitha Gur Bhari, Panj Pyale. We haven't got time now to go over this, but Badshah Kirpa Karan that we're able to translate this as well. You can look this up and get this translated. The Aithe Badshah showed this about themselves. That Bhai Gurdas Ji says, Panj Pyale, Panj Peer. The Panj Peer, the 5 gurus before Sheme Badshah, they had Panj Pyale, they had 5 cups of something of what? They had Sat, Santokh, Daya, Dharam, Khima. They had all of these virtues inside of them. And the proof was here in Gwalior that Sheme Badshah also had these virtues. That's why उन्होंने तरस खा के राजियां दे भी बंधन कट दिते. अज आपां भी अपने बंधन कटवाइए सतगुरु कोल. Let us not be stuck anymore. Let us get cut away from all of these bondages that we are stuck in. Let us be liberated today as well. Arjan kaya palt ke moorat har gobind savari, ਚੱਲੀ ਪੀੜੀ ਸੋਡੀਆਂ ਰੂਪ ਦਿਖਾਵਣ ਵਾਰੋ ਵਾਰੀ, ਦਲ ਭੰਜਨ ਗੁਰ ਸੂਰਮਾ ਵੱਡ ਜੋਧਾ ਬਹੁ ਪਰਉਪਕਾਰੀ. This is what Guru Hargobind Sahib was. They were dal bhanjan, ਭੰਨਣ ਵਾਲਾ, who broke away armies. Dal means armies. ਉਹ ਦਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੰਨਣ ਵਾਲਾ. That's how powerful he was. Dal bhanjan gur surma, this great warrior of a guru. But he wasn't just a warrior. Badshah says, Vad Jodha, he's a great warrior, but don't forget, Baho Parupakari. Parupakari means his heart was so soft, ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦਾ. When he saw somebody crying in pain, he had to go and help. Parupakari means that guru, when he sees somebody's pain, he can't help but help somebody. He can't see somebody's tears. And that's what a Gur Sikh should be like. When he sees the pain on somebody's face, he takes them in the embrace and puts a smile on their face. That's what a Gur Sikh is. A Gur Sikh says, don't worry, I am here for you. Here's my shoulder. Take it and cry. Because that's what my Guru did for people. That's what Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Badshah was about, Gur Sikh Pyareo. Let's take this in our life. And then, what will happen? Do ardas. Because his heart is delicate, he will listen. And then what will happen? Who will become your friend? Har sajjan davan lagya. Kise na dein ban, fir tanu koi ban nahi sakda. Nobody can trap you now. Because you're holding on to the hem of Guru Hargobind Sahib Badshah. You're holding off the hem of Gurbani. Tusi hun Gurbani da asra le liya. Nobody can now trap you anymore. Hor krodh jinna marji jor la lave. But you've got the Guru as your friend now. You've made friends with the Guru. You've made friends with the Bani. Manak moti naam prabh un lagge nahi san. San means ਜਦੋਂ ਚੋਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਚੋਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸੰਨ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. Sun hunda, what they would do is they go to a house, get a chisel away some of the cement. Ittan kadke, they take the bricks out and they'd get into a house like that. The sun, that's the hole, they'd get through to the house and they'd rob them and run away. But when you attach yourselves to the Guru, nobody can rob you. Then Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar can't rob you anymore. ਉਹ ਸੰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਖੜਾ ਹੋਵੇ. And just to finish off, this is the last slide, and I've taken a lot of time, but we've just got to hope that this isn't our state. ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਦੀਵੇ ਜਗਾ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਪਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਹਨੇਰਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ. Because Bhagਤ Fariji's ਬਾਣੀ says, ਬਾਹਰ ਦਿਸੇ ਚਾਨਣਾ ਦਿਲ ਅੰਧਿਆਰੀ ਰਾਤ. ਕਿਤੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਚਾਨਣ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਘਰ ਬਣਾ ਲਏ, ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾ ਲਏ, ਪਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਈ ਹੋਈ. We're not in darkness from inside, are we? Let's ask ourselves that question. What is the true Deepamala? What is that true Jyot? The true Jyot is to bring the wisdom of the Guru into yourself. When you bring the Sikhya of the Guru, the teachings of the Guru into your life, that is the true Jyot. ਇਹ ਜੋਤ ਜਗਾਓ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਅੰਦਰ. And that's when you can have forever happiness. People sing this on Diwali. This, I'm going to finish off with the Vara of Bhai Gurdas Ji. People sing, they light a candle and they say, Bhai Gurdas Ji said to do it. And they sing Diwali di raat dive baliyan. But Gursikh Pyaro kite Partha liya karo ke apna Guru sanu kenda ki. What is Bhai Gurdas Ji saying to us? Bhai Gurdas Ji saying that if you wake up in the morning, that diva is not lit anymore. It's temporary. It's there for one night. Kush samay di khushi. Swer nu fe bujh gaya. They said Tadi Jata sanat ambar baliyan. If you look at the stars tonight, you'll see many stars, big and small. But swer nu labbiyo tare. Try and look for the stars in the morning. They won't be there. They're temporary, they're only there at night. So this is Badshah is trying to teach us something. They're saying there's one thing that's permanent in your life. They says don't be like that diva on Diwali night that comes on for that night and gives you happiness. I've heard people say, ਅੱਜ ਨਾ ਲੜਿਓ ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਅੱਜ ਦੀਵਾਲੀ ਆ, ਸਵੇਰ ਨੂੰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਡੰਡੇ ਫਾੜ ਲਿਓ, ਸਵੇਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰ ਪਾੜ ਲਿਓ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ, ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੀਵਾਲੀ ਦੀ ਰਾਤ ਲਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ. No, don't light that diva just for Diwali. Light that diva forever in your life inside. Guru Nanak Partha said, I've got a diva in my life too. Diva ਮੇਰਾ ਏਕ ਨਾਮ, ਦੁੱਖ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੇਲ, ਉਹ ਚਾਨਣ ਉਹ ਸੋਖਿਆ, ਜਮ ਸਿਓ ਚੋਕਾ ਮੇਲ. This is what the diva, I've got the diva in my life, Guru Nanak Partha said, but the diva of naam, diva ਮੇਰਾ ਏਕ ਨਾਮ, ਉਸ ਇੱਕ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਵੱਜਦਾ ਆ. Make sure when we go from here today, we light that light within inside of ourselves of remembering his name. And then Bhai Gurdas Ji said in the end, he says, Gurmukh sukh fardat, sabd samaliyan, Guru vaste, Sikh vaste, Guru kenda Sikh vaste, have that forever light inside of you. If you want sukh, everybody's looking for sukh. Everybody's looking for happiness, but you can have it. How? Sabd samaliyan. Tu sambhal ke ਆਪਾਂ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਕੀ? ਸ਼ਬਦ ਭਾਵ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, Guru's teaching, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਆ ਉਹ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀਏ, and we can have a forever light in our life. We'll never have to see ਦੁੱਖ again. So ਇਤਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Vaheguru